Hi everyone, welcome back to Eve Math Tutoring. Today's lesson is on putting equations into slope-intercept form, also known as y equals mx plus b form. So if you're given a regular equation, so sometimes when you're given an equation like this, the reason for putting in an equation in slope-intercept form is that it's easier to graph the equation when you have it in that form. So, and also you can see what the slope of your equation is, and you can also see where it intersects the y-axis. So the intercept is the y-intercept that you're going to see. So what you want to do is get it in the form y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope. So in this case, we're just going to bring the 3 over to the other side, and when we do, it becomes negative. And notice that I'm writing it before the number because I want it to look like this. Now here, once I have it in this form, it's easy to spot. This is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. Because when x equals 0, this part disappears, so your y-intercept just becomes y equals b. Okay, so in this case, the slope of our line is equal to -3, and our y-intercept is 5. So using that information, we can even graph it easily. So the y-intercept is 5, so when x equals 0, y equals 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have a slope of -3, so that's -3 over 1, which is, as you know, slope is equal to rise over run. So our rise is -3, 1, 2, 3, and our run is 1. So that way, we can actually, okay, that's not very straight. Okay, let me just undo that, sorry. So when you connect these two lines, and it should be a straight line. Mine doesn't look very straight, but you'll see the actual, like you can actually graph your line easily, okay? If you want to see where it crossed the x-axis, you could just find the x-intercept of this equation easily by setting y equal to 0, and then you would see, for example, if you want to, so over here we would just set x equal to 0, and then we could find the x, sorry, not the y-intercept. Okay. If we set y equal to 0, we can find the x-intercept. So 3x plus 0 equals 5. 3x equals 5, so x equals 5 over 3, which is 1 2/3. So that means that it would cross the x-axis at about here. So you can even draw it down further if you want to just draw the complete. Okay, but that's using x and y-intercepts. The other method I was using before is using the slope and the y-intercept. Now let's try a different example of expressing an equation in slope-intercept form. So I'm just going to do a different one here. So say I have the example 4y equals 7 minus 5x. If I want to write this in slope-intercept form, I remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So I want to solve for y. So what I'm going to do here, first of all, is I'm going to write this as -5x plus 7. So I'm just rearranging this part so I can have the x first. And then I'm going to divide everything by 4. And now I've got it in y equals mx plus b form, slope-intercept form. So that means the slope of this equation is -5 over 4, and the y-intercept is equal to 7 over 4. Okay, and seeing that, we can actually go ahead and graph the equation if we wanted to using this information. Okay, so if we wanted to graph this, so our y-intercept is, okay, so that's 1 3/4. So that's where it crosses the y-axis when x equals 0, so 1 3/4. So about there. And then the slope is -5/4, so that's a rise over run of -5/4. So -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a run of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just connect the two. Okay? So that's putting equations into slope-intercept form. You always want to solve for y, and you want to rearrange it so your x is first and then the number is second. All right.